Good morning, everybody. Lauren with Twin Soul Tarot. And this morning, we're going to discuss stimulus, psychic predictions, and leaders get off your butt and do something. All right, so now I'm just going to mention, be sure and like and subscribe to the channel. It's kind of like when you support local musicians, you know, you go to their clubs and stuff, because it doesn't cost you anything, and it only takes a second to like and subscribe. So appreciate you liking and subscribing, and be sure and leave any and all comments down below, because I get every single one of them. I look at every one of them, and I want to hear from you because I want everyone to join the conversation. All right. If you have been following what's happening in the news and in concerning the coronavirus, and it's getting kind of boring, to be honest, because we're having to put up with a whole lot of wait and see kind of an attitude, that kind of thing. Wait and see BS from Trump and McConnell about the stimulus checks. Direct payments should have already been distributed to the people in the greatest country that the world has ever seen, the most prosperous country, and yet we can't even get a little bit more support from our leaders to help us through this dark time. So yes, wait and see BS from Trump and McConnell, who are sitting on this check and almost like acting like it's kind of like a waving it in front of our faces, as it were, I would say. Because listen, you know, this is not, I just want to mention right now, this is not a hand, and the reason why I want to mention this, right, is because this is not a handout. I want everybody, you know, if there's one thing I want to get across this morning, it's not a handout. It's a hand up. It is a hand up. A couple $1,000s can put a person in a situation where it's a hand up from wherever you're at. Because if you're at zero, right, and you don't have enough money, you don't have enough food, then you'll have to excuse my phone, and you don't know if you're going to be able to pay rent next month or this month because of coronavirus, okay, because you're out of work. It becomes a hand up, because you'll be able to step from where you're at to the next level. You can get from off the sidewalk to on the sidewalk, all right? So that helps you to the next step of your journey, and like on a spiritual level, it helps you to the next step on your journey, which is just having your basic needs met. So it becomes a hand out to you, not a hand, it becomes a hand up to you, not a hand out, all right? So now, for those who have been working and those who are seeking unemployment, like myself, right? That direct payment to you becomes a hand it becomes a hand up as well. Now, the reason why is because with a couple $1,000s, if your needs are basically met, then you're able to move toward what everyone is wanting, including the politicians, if they are honest. Our leaders, if they're honest, really do want to, dare I say it, make America great again, or make America great for the first time, I should more like say. And so, and to make the country great, and to make individuals great, they've got to be able to have the couple $1,000s, whatever, to move toward taking their, at the end of the day, when they're done with that 9-to-5 job that they're on, to be able to do that side hustle, or to be able to start a business, or to be able to say freelance, because they've always wanted to, like myself, they've always wanted to write a book. All right, so they're able to freelance, and so they're doing that now because they've been given the money, and right now the blessing about this whole situation is that you've been given the time to do it, whereas you didn't have the time before. And so this time of reset and this time of meditation, again, we get back to the spiritual. We jump from the spiritual to the political on a regular basis. They are intertwined. And so you're able to get on with what you were truly born to do. And isn't that what it is really all about? Because figure on this, okay? Everyone doing what they wanted to do when they were 8 or 9 years old. Imagine without roadblocks in the way and without money being an issue in the way of what you want to do, how is that going to create a more mental health, a higher mental health standard? Everybody would be in a position within themselves where they feel blessed, where they feel joy, where they feel content in what they're doing, where they're at in their relationships, and they're able to go forward and reach their highest potential. Okay, all right. With all that, I got to get a little drink of water here. So, one moment. Okay, let's get back to Bernie Sanders blasting the Senate for not doing anything. All right, we're going to take a look at, now I wish I had that, if only I had that link. Now if I can leave that link for you at the end of this reading, I will. But Bernie Sanders recently blasted the Senate, and his specific words were, let me see if I can quote it, they were, this is the worst do-nothing Senate America has ever seen. Okay, so Senate going on vacation again, Senate sitting back and not addressing the Heroes Bill in any way, shape, or form. They could go ahead and place what they want as Republicans within it. If they want infrastructure, if they want the PPP loan for businesses to be the primary focus, whatever it is the Republicans are really looking for, whatever it is Trump and McConnell want, they could have placed that within the bill, taken out the extra spending, and they could have gotten on and gotten it done. Now, think about this. You may not like the Democrats, but you cannot, if you don't like the Democrats, all right, and if you don't like what they normally stand for, you cannot disagree that they got it together. They got a package together. 1,800-page bill was a HEROES Act, and they moved it forward right through, and they got it passed by just a margin, and it was marginally passed. And so you cannot. You take a look at this. You must realize that they are the ones who are the movers and the shakers right now. They have been on it. They have been working hard on it. We don't see that with the Senate. Like I've said before, I got this little picture in my head, right, of the Senate of Mitch McConnell and Trump laying by the pool with their on a sunny day, of course, in a tropical five-star resort. All right, yeah. What is Trump's? Yeah, y'all know what is whatever Trump's. I can't even think of it right now. Whatever Trump's name of his big resort is, right? You know what I'm talking about. I'll mention it down below. Anyway, it'll come to me anyhow. Anyway, so they're at the 5-star resort, and they've got their drinks with umbrellas, and they got the news in the background showing what's really going on. Okay, so and that's the vision I see in my head. Now, along with that, I want to mention that the Senate and the House, 95% of Democrats are, let's get into, I'm jumping over myself, but let's get into the fact that what we all want to see, right? What we all want to see is increased stimulus payments throughout the entire coronavirus, throughout this entire virus. We're probably going to see a second wave, and that's not psychic predictions. That's just simply reading the news. That we're likely going to see a second wave of the coronavirus. That's the bad news. The good news is that this gives time and energy on a spiritual level. This gives time and energy for the reset to go on, and for the light codes, if you will, to reach the earth and raise consciousness. Now, speaking of raising consciousness, let's get back to the Senate and the House, and that is 95% of the Democrats, they want increased stimulus. A CNN poll was done showing that those in office, 95% of the Democrats, excuse me, they want the increased stimulus to go on and continue with direct payments right through until the coronavirus is no more. And then 52% of Republicans want that. And 47% of Republicans in office are against it. Why? I don't know. I can't fathom it. I can't imagine it. I really can't. This is a good time to make one little mention. I don't want to make it too long and bore you, but I did want to mention that I come from the angle of being a former Zeitgeist coordinator. The reason in Seattle, a Seattle coordinator. Now, the reason why that's important is because I'm coming from the focus of having been a coordinator working on a movement that was very advanced and highly evolved, and had to do, and it was based in an idea of doing like a city-states that use a computer to regulate rhythms and monitor the entire Earth's resources. It's called the Venus Project, is what we were, for lack of a better word, advertising for, what we were promoting. And that is so far advanced that the world's not ready for it. Brilliant idea. Shout out to Roxanne Meadows, and Jacques Fresco has passed away. Anybody who knows what I'm talking about, who watches this video, I don't know. Somebody may actually be watching this video who knows what I am speaking of. But that's not what this reading or broadcast is about right now. And so we're going to get right back. So we're going to get right to the reading in just a moment here. And but about that, I just want to mention that is the angle that I'm coming from, which is why I believe I can see that stimulus payments increased, phasing from where that's at into a universal basic income is the future for humanity. I can see that both on a psychic level as well as just on a sociological level, like reading into seeing the social landscape and seeing the current events and seeing where we're going as a whole with my experience. I can see that. Okay, so that's where we're headed. Now, if let me point out that there was a recent person who dropped out of the presidential race, and he actually wants a universal basic income. And again, I don't want to go on and on about that, but I'm just mentioning it because I believe that is where we are headed. Okay, so let's get right into the reading. Whew, let me take a little drink and we will do just that. Now, this reading is going to be about the psychic prediction of whether the person that is going to be in office. Let me preface that for a second. Let me roll back a bit and say that we do believe that, and everybody we can see in the news, and psychic predictions have also, other tarot readers as well as myself, have predicted another one more stimulus, a direct payment to the people, okay? One more, it's going to be $1,200. It's not going to be more than that. It's going to be the same deal as before, because if they don't do that, they ain't going to get reelected. Now, we all know this, so we will remember in November, because they already know they're not going to get reelected. They're trying to play a game. As you well know, there's posturing, they're playing games, and they're going to bring it right up until November. But before that, they know they have to get a stimulus bill out to the people. They know it. The Republicans really know it, because they absolutely know they know that they have the reputation of not wanting the direct payments as much as those in office. Which did I already point out? If I'm pointing it out again, I apologize. I'm probably getting a little bit short-term memory loss. So I'm just going to point it out again since it's so important anyway. Which is 95% Democrats are for continued direct payments to the people. Sorry about my phone again. 52% Republicans are for it. So, a lot more Democrats than Republicans. Really obvious. 47% Republicans against. This is the figures that we have. This is the data we have. This was taken as some sample data by CNN. Okay, so, and that's what we have to work with. And that's what we know to be true, because we have no other data to go by. The only thing I can think of is to go out in the street and get a poll of 100 people and find out what they think, right? Where you go out and you think, well, are we for, do you think Democrats are for increased stimulus payments, or do you think Democrats are against increased stimulus? But it's something I did in college, come to think of it. So, but enough about that. Let's move on. Let's move on to the reading, which I keep promising we're going to do, and then I don't get to it because I have so much to say about what's going on. But the reason why is not to bore you, but to encourage you, because better times are ahead. And as I always say, and will say at the end of every one of my readings, the darkest hour is always before the dawn. So let's see what Spirit has as far as leadership goes. After we vote in November, what type or character of people are we going to, leaders, are we going to get in office? And will they do what will help the people? Whether that's direct payments continued, whether that's unemployment increase after July 31st. For those who don't know, unemployment, the PEUC, okay, the extended, the pandemic increase of $600 per week that I myself am waiting for, okay, is going to be ending. It's on July 31st, and it's 4 months. Now, you will get it retroactively if you already applied for it, which is my case. But we are, what I'm doing here is doing a reading to see if in November, come November, we're going to get elected leaders that are going to be for an extension for that. So let's just get on with the reading, shall we? I need to shuffle decks. I actually haven't shuffled decks, so let's get on with that. We're going to use 2 decks this morning. The Spirit Song Tarot, which is a Rider-Waite deck. It's a very stiff deck, so it's kind of hard to shuffle. I hope this doesn't show up. There we go. All right, I don't think it does. Okay. All right, so yeah, we're gonna do. Okay, here we go. Get a drink. Oh, and every day I wake up, I'm just amazed at these unprecedented times that we're living in. I'm also amazed at how things can just work out and we end up with good in the end, coming out of the worst situations, coming out of the darkest, deepest places in the world, like in our psyche and in the world, with the world events going on, like coronavirus. Speaking specifically of and I would like to say that having been born, raised in this country, and served in the Army and met my husband in the military, America's concept of the individual, and if America really stands for that we can do the impossible, that all things are possible, that's what's really going to make America great again. All right. So, with that, let's move into the reading, shall we? Let's see, I gotta shuffle one more time. It's a stiff deck, so I gotta shuffle one more time. All right. All right, here we go. Now, we're going to do, but we're going to do the other shuffle as well. So here we go. Oh, goodness. Okay. I want to even turn the other way. I feel like that's the one. Okay. Ace of Feathers. I'm going to put that forward so you can see it right there. Ace of Feathers. And we want a clarifier for the Ace of Feathers. Spirit, which actually use for clarifier for the Ace of Feathers. Okay. All right. And let me shuffle this deck a little bit. Oh, okay. Well, I had a card just fly right out. This card's flying right out. It's telling me that this one's what wants to come up. Faith. Oh, goodness. Wow. Oh, my goodness. We got it again. Okay. Wow. Just, wow. Within just two cards. I know we do, as readers, we do a ton of cards, and we just go, we do big spreads and stuff. But sometimes, sometimes the simple cards will tell you exactly what's going on. And what's really, okay, so Ace of Feathers. Okay, wow. Foundation, oh my goodness, okay. Foundation and mental clarity. Okay, wow, okay, mental clarity. This card is referring to, it is our, like I've said before, this is our mental clarity, our focus, our determination, and our mental health, our well-being, that as a whole, as a collective, first as individuals, and then as a whole, then as a collective, okay, that is going to lead us to this new prosperous future. Okay, so the next step, I'm seeing this from Spirit. I mean, my mind would say no. This, because I tended to be negative throughout my life, but I'm becoming this new person myself as well, going through a major transformation. So, okay, enough about me, right? Way more than enough about me, right? So anyway, yes, this card. I'm going to make sure you can see it okay. Yeah, got this little setup for now anyway. And so, yes, this card here is, oh boy, that is crucial. That is the foundation. Look, it's the same as a house, okay? Without the foundation, you don't have a house, okay? Even a mobile home is placed on a permanent foundation and ain't a house until you put it on a permanent foundation. And you from South Carolina, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, this foundation is what is going to be it's going to be our mental health, and it's going to be the mental health and of our leaders. And I have got a vision right now that we need to concern ourselves with the mental health of our future leaders. So, in your time of meditation, and I encourage you to meditate, in your time of meditation, prayer, or whatever it is that you do, keep your focus on our future leaders, because that plants the seed and places the foundation into action for our leaders, for those future leaders that are going to be in office. And I'm talking about both in the Senate and the House and our president. In November, our new leaders that are going to be elected. Pray, meditate that those people are. You'd be amazed at how much of a difference that makes. As people who have highly developed their psychic abilities and people who read tarot and these kinds of things know what a difference it really makes. So if we want to move that to 95% of whoever's in an office, remember that I gave you that 95%, that percentage point earlier. If we want to move that to whoever makes it into office, and we want 95% of those in Senate and those in the House and the president and whatever their chief advisors or chief staff advisors, if we want those kind of people to be primarily concerned about the welfare of the people, we need to have that intention. We need to move the intention toward that outcome. Okay? That's how we're going to see that. That is a big part of how we're going to actually see that happen. Now, here's the other interesting thing. I didn't know. I'm actually only going to pull 2 cards. This is just the 2 cards I'm using this morning. It's fantastic. But sometimes Spirit makes things so easy. Makes things easier than we do. Okay, so faith. And that's faith, just plain faith that we're going to actually see Spirit move on our behalf as long as we do our part, which is this right here. And then the other thing I'm seeing too is the faith is a woman. And this is an oracle deck. This is not a tarot deck. This is an oracle deck. So it's simply, a matter of fact, it's an oracle synchronistic deck, which means that the synchronicities, the synchronicity we're seeing here is a woman. And the reason that's significant is because it's come up in another reading and come up in other readings online. I watch readings a lot. And it's come up in other readings online, stimulus readings and political readings that are discussing who's going to be in office and who's in office now. That discuss Trump, that discuss McConnell, that read on. You can look them up if you want to. In those readings, once or twice, women have come up. So I think we're going to have some of the key people in office, a woman. Now, it could be a woman president. It could be a woman Senate majority leader. But I think we're going to have a woman soon. It could be Nancy Pelosi. I don't know. I'm not going into all of that in this reading. That's for another reading. But we are definitely going to be having, the woman also just symbolizes some feminine energy. That feminine energy refers to the gentle pushing and the gentle, persistent pushing. Persistent, right? But gentle and gentle, persistent pushing of those things that would be important for the people, for that a person in that position, whether male or female, to that energy is going to surround that person and that's what will help to help bring forth the outcome of the desired outcome of what we want, which is the concern more for the people than just for power and politics and money and the same old, same old. Okay? So that is pretty much what I needed to tell you about that. That pretty much does wrap up the read. I did make a note that it's a good idea to go ahead and write to your senators if you have the time and in your state of residence. It's a good idea to let your voice be heard. It might affect change, especially if you take the time, like I was saying, just meditate and maybe do that. But okay, so that's my reading for today. I really hope you enjoyed it, and be sure and hit that like and subscribe button. I do it for everybody. I do it for tarot readers or people who are reading political commentary. I do it for them all the time, because like and subscribe takes what, maybe an eighth of a second to do. So if you could hit that like and subscribe button and comment down below, that would be absolutely wonderful. Love every one of you. This is Lauren signing out. I'm going to be continuing to do these political readings every couple of days or so. People do seem to be enjoying it. So I'm going to continue on with my psychic readings, and and I am also going to be, as Twin Soul Tarot, revamping my program with specifically for the other type of reading that I'm going to be doing, which is going to be focused entirely 100% on past loved ones. So we'll be I'm looking forward to doing that, but it's going to take me a little while to get that going. So again, Lauren, Twin Soul Tarot. This was Psychic Predictions. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a lovely day. Here in South Carolina, it looks like it's to be sunny, so I think I'm going to get myself outside for a little while and stop being my hermit in this little room. All right. You all have a wonderful day. Bye now.